Hello, Leah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm awesome. I'm super excited to be here.
So I really want to just get into your mind of how you wrote this song and how you got into the music profession.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get inspired to go into music?
Music's always been a part of my life. My dad's side of the family is super musical. They're all amazing gospel singers. And my mom's side of the family, not so much, but they really saw that I had that potential and pushed me since I was like 4. So I remember going back, I have somewhere in my house this tape recorder of me singing I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis. That was my first ever performance, I guess, recorded performance. Mm-hmm. And then ever since then, I've been taking voice lessons. I did the musicals in school. I did choir. I did outside shows, and then I started doing talent shows in middle school and high school. And then music's always been something that I wanted to do. There was never a time where I sat down and said, I think I want to do music. It's always just been there. So coming into college, I chose music business because I knew I wanted to be an artist, but also knew that if I didn't do music as an artist, I needed music somewhere in my life. Mm-hmm. That's really how I got into songwriting and being an artist myself. So I started to work in marketing and PR and stuff like that. And I found myself wanting to do all of that work for me as an artist and not other artists. That's definitely how I got into songwriting and being an artist myself.
What made you want to take the next step in terms of actually going out, finding a producer, finding someone who can mix tracks, rather than just having this as a side hobby?
Mm-hmm. There's never been a point where I saw myself doing anything else. Like, it sounds so silly, but even now to this day, I'll listen to my favorite songs, and instead of, like, me imagining my favorite artist singing them, I imagine myself singing them. I can't not do music. Instead of leaving it as a side hobby and focusing on other things, I would find myself focusing on the music more than the actual things I had to do. So I was like, why waste time doing something that I'm not as passionate about? And I took on being a performer and an artist as my main focus, because that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing in life.
Let's actually go to your song LA that you just came out. It's on Spotify, correct?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Google Play, all of the above.
All the digital service providers, streaming services. When you worked on this, what was going on in your head in terms of lyrics, in terms of putting it all together?
Ever since I started writing the song, I knew exactly what I wanted it to sound like. And I had little notes like, okay, I want the, octavized voice of the echo, like the my baby. I needed that. It had to be in the record. And when I wrote the song, I really sat down and really dug through my brain to be, as metaphorical as possible and just have cool lyrics that people would remember. Because after all, like, as a pop artist, you need to write songs that people are going to want to sing along to and remember the lyrics. I thought about all the things that reminded me of LA, even though I hadn't been there yet at the time, but all the, the picturesque things and what everyone's, like, no pun intended, dreaming of, and I really found a way to make that a different type of love story.
What artist were you kind of going for? Did you have an inspiration of some sort when you wrote the song?
Well, I always like to make whatever I write or, like, produce my own. But I do have very heavy influences from Dua Lipa. Mm-hmm. She's amazing. I love all of her production. Lately, I've been loving Kalani. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the songs that I've written in the past few weeks have had her vibe, like the soft R&B, alternate R&B vibes. Ariana Grande, she's amazing. Definitely, it's a definite mix of current top 40 pop and R&B. So whenever I do, like, I'm not a crazy producer. I try to produce my own stuff, and it's really just on GarageBand. I do love heavy bass. I love the dark pop feel. That's a Dua Lipa term. They definitely have an influence on my music and on my writing style and what I envision my songs to sound like, but I also do like to add my own little thing so I don't get lost in the mix of everyone else.
So going back to your comment when you said this was quote-unquote amateur, I think the exact opposite. When I heard this, it sounded like it could be on the top 40 songs. So what was the process to kind of give it that professionalism edge?
Yeah, well, I didn't produce this song. My good friend Robbie produced it for me. He's amazing. He's on Spotify, Apple Music, all those fancy things. And he's an amazing producer, so he really helped me bring it to that level. Because I'm not fluent in Pro Tools or Logic. Getting there, but not really. And usually my songs start off as little demos on my voice memos of just me and the piano and like white noise in the background. So by amateur, that's what I meant. But yeah, Robbie, my producer, really, really pulled this together for me, and he really understood what I was looking for and the sound that I wanted. And without him, this song wouldn't be what it is.
When listening to the song, as a listener, I really love going into the lyrics, and I love when a song tells a story in terms of wanting to be catchy, or do you write to tell a story?
I do have songs that I write to tell a story, and those songs are mostly ballads. Those songs also sound a lot of country music, like in terms of like the style of writing. But for most songs that I want to put out, especially like as a starting artist, they are meant to be catchy. But also I do want to, have a story behind them, because if there's no story, no one can relate to them. And then no one's going to listen. Something can be catchy, but if there's no like meaning to it, it'll become a meme. And then it's just like, lost in the mix of all the other stuff. But yeah, I do try to aim for catchy, because it really means a lot to me to, like, even my friends or just like random people, like being able to sing it back to me. That's what pop music is. It's supposed to get stuck in your head. It's supposed to be something that you can listen to without really listening, because it's in your head,
Let's jump forward into the future, right? It's going to be 5 years. What's your dream job? If you can have anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd want to be a touring artist.
Touring artist,
yeah. I love traveling. Absolutely love traveling. And I love performing, especially when it's for people that I don't know. Because, friends and family, they're great. They're going to support you no matter what. But it's always awesome to get feedback and to see other people's reactions that don't know you. Because you're like a clean slate and they're a clean slate to you. And yeah, I love traveling. I love the idea of just having a life and making a living with just music. Making music, performing music, being in the studio, being around other writers and other creators. So, yeah.
So you say you study music business as of right now at Hofstra University. What classes are the most helpful, or to any musicpreneurs who want to start their own, own job or own career as an artist? What classes should they take?
Well, right now our program is going through a revamping, because we but 2 years ago we got a new head of our major, and he's awesome. He's created so many other programs that we didn't have. I think for me the most helpful have been the marketing ones. So like artist marketing or artist management and stuff like that, because I now know how to market myself, how to pitch myself to blogs, how to get my songs, heard by certain people and get followers and stuff. And I know that's all very like materialistic type things, but as an artist now without a label, that's so important to know how to market yourself. Right now I'm in a publishing class, and I also intern at a publishing company. So everything I learn at my internship and in class are kind of being put to use within each other. So as an artist without a label and without a publishing company, it's super important to know how to collect your royalties, how to know where the money is, how to make sure, you're credited on certain things. So I definitely think publishing is super important, and marketing. Those are the two areas of the business right now that are shifting and kind of booming.
So do you have any last words? What's the message that you want to get across to them?
I just want them to have a good time. I just want my listeners to feel like they're having fun, or they're like driving down Pacific Coast Highway in a convertible, Just really have fun with it. That's it. That's it. It's not as serious as, some songs. Just have fun, dance with your friends. You like it.